Our next guest says the tragedy is a result of treating criminals like victims. Joining us now is Scott Jones, Sacramento County Sheriff and U.S. congressional candidate. Sheriff, let's pull up this guy, Smiley Martin's rap sheet, so you can take a look. All our viewers know the history here. It dates back over 9 years. We're looking at possession of an assault rifle, robbing a Walmart, lying to police, domestic violence and assault. His parole hearings were in May 2021. He was denied parole, but then he was released from prison the following February anyway. What broke down here?
Well, I think critics would like to see this as a one-off, like this is something that's an aberration rather than the norm. But the reality is, this is the norm. This is happening all over this state and all over the country. It's not only the desire to get people out of prison early, to clear out our prisons, but to not put them in prison in the first place with zero bail and other programs. Look, if it's predictable, it's preventable, and this is entirely predictable.
Take a look at this. This is from the Sacramento Bee on Smiley Martin. They write, despite a 2-page letter to the Board of Parole Hearings urging Martin remain in custody, he won his release and was in Sacramento Saturday night, recording himself on a Facebook Live video, brandishing a handgun hours before the shooting. So, look, there's a lot of blame and responsibility to go around here. Who failed? The people who were shot that night.
Well, I think the whole criminal justice system failed. Look, I came on when I was 21 years old as a deputy sheriff in 1989. Violent crime was out of control in the late 80s and early 90s, and that gave rise to things like 3 strikes, gun and gang enhancements, and that reversed the trend of violent crime in this state and across the country for 2 or 3 decades. And now folks think, well, you know, these activists and critics say, well, we don't need that anymore. We're not as violent anymore, without realizing the cause and effect. And now we have the added problem of keeping people out of jail that otherwise should be in prison. And it's entirely predictable that we are going back to that period of the late 80s and early 90s where violent crime is out of control all over this country, which is, it's not just a California problem. This is a national issue, which is the reason I'm running for Congress.
Well, and the president agrees with you that it's a national problem. He, this week, launched new policies to try and crack down on some of the gun violence, the illegal gun violence. He's making a move to rein in ghost guns, people manufacturing guns at home and then not registering them and using them as they wish. Is that a helpful step?
Look, these folks had guns illegally. Making them more illegal does not dissuade criminals from having illegal weapons. It's like blaming a drunk driver for getting in a car and killing somebody. It's like then blaming the car and having more restrictive car rules and car regulations. It's silly. Everybody that would advocate for that would look foolish, but the same logic applies to guns. It's not the guns. It's not a gun control problem. It is a criminal control problem, and we are not controlling our criminals.
All right, Sheriff, we got to leave it there, but thanks for joining us.
Thank you.